See that, Mike? Oh, what's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMT, the People's Fitness Professional, alongside my co-host,
Mikey Fever.
and this is the New York perspective. Got to put on clips music real quick.
Yeah, I like that hat, man. Make America great again, huh?
This hat is brothers, brothers. All right, I had to play that clip. Why'd you make that beat? Anyway. But let's talk about it. We're on right now. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Time never was when a man was not. We're going into part 3. I definitely want to put out there that the brother Sharif, Grand Sheikh Sharif, is a author. He has some books out there that you should check out. And we're just going to keep promoting those books because, you know, they're good reads, especially coming from Brother Sharif, who is very, very knowledgeable. So
yes, let me tell you, not to cut your wisdom, Ron. I read one of his books, The Elixir of Sagala.
That's the book I really want to talk about, Ron. Is that one? What you think, Brother Mikey?
Very deep. Like, yo, you know, as they say in our craft, you know, everything is allegorical.
Yes.
In symbology, he just breaks it out plain, but through a Moorish lens. But he's making the connection. You see where he's going with it. Very deep, very informative.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Dope book, man.
Yes,
all right. So being that you already read that book there, Mike, help us with content, brother. That's we're gonna do that. That's gonna be the next joint. So
there you go.
You just hit me with what's in that book, and then we going on that. But today we're here for Time Never Was When a Man Was Not. Man, good to see you, Brother Sharif. I was just telling Brother Sharif that he doesn't mind me sharing his age. The brother is 57, about to be 58 years old, and we look the same age. I said, either I'm doing something wrong or he's doing something right. So whatever the secret is, brother,
yes, sir.
be on. And another thing I mentioned is that brothers around his age range are different types of brothers because they grew up without the internet and all of that. So they were in a rest, reading a lot, and a lot of brothers at that time, you know, back in the days, couldn't come outside without knowing lessons, knowing certain degrees, etc. So, and they was entrenched in the culture so much.
Yes.
And
it was really the show and prove days,
right?
Because there was nothing else. You couldn't create a digital persona. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You couldn't do that. Now that's the norm, right?
Right.
But you couldn't do that back then. You had to be who you said you were.
That's a fact.
Indeed. Yeah. So now, you know, I want to also you know, knowledge the older gods, you know what I'm saying? The older brothers, the older gods, the older Moors. Even though some of the older gods don't like, some of them, they don't like to be called the older god. However, you know, the brothers, our older brothers, our uncles, etc., they have that knowledge, that information, that experience that we need in these days and times to help lift up the next generation. But with no further ado, let's go into Time Never Was When a Man Was Not.
Yes,
we left off on the space itself can be bent.
Woo! We did talk about that.
Yeah.
So let's go right back to the first statement, because all of that stuff is literally wisdom or knowledge encompassed within this phrase, time never was when man was not. Right? Because so there's a number of things that we could directly imply from that statement. Time never was when man was not. That means time came after man, not before.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. That means time to man, relative to man, the relationship of man in his true nature to time is that time is an object that man can hold in his hand. And I say hand metaphorically, right?
It can be measured.
It can be measured. It can be handled. It can be manipulated. And then we talked in the last show about time is motion. See? Motion dictates the existence of time, right? Okay. So that said, time, okay, motion designates something else, doesn't it? Space.
Right.
Motion designates space. That's why quantum physics and now even regular physics, when we say 3 dimensions, they say space-time. 3 dimensions of space, 1 dimension of time. See?
Mm-hmm.
That's why in 3D, in 3 dimensions, they say 2 things cannot occupy the same space
Right.
at the same time. This is occupying that space. Now this is occupying that space. Now this is okay. See that? Now Mikey's gonna like this. Follow me. During the planning for the Bolshevik Revolution in what we now call Russia, right? What was his name? It'll come to me. One of the main people that were helping to plan the revolution, when they would get together to conspire and to make plans, they would burn incense. And they noticed that every time they did that, their plans without a hitch, right? Without a hitch. And they and they ended up having to consult a mystic, someone knowledgeable of the mystic and the occult arts, to get an explanation as to why. Here's why. Remember we said in 3D space-time, 2 things can't occupy the same space at the same time. That's the laws of physics in 3D, but not in the higher realms. In the higher realms, 2 things, not only is it possible for 2 things to occupy the same space at the same time, it happens routinely. So I could take an incense stick of frankincense and an incense stick of myrrh. I can't put them together in 3D. But when I light both, what happens to the scent?
It smells like both.
It blends, meaning indicative of what? Occupying the same space at the same time. So that's a shadow of what? The fact that there's an essence of the scent that's reaching the higher realms. You understand?
Okay.
And that scent, that essence can be programmed with your thoughts. And when it goes to the higher realms are the realms of what? Unrealized probability. In quantum physics, that's called wave function.
Sorry, I messed it up. Go ahead. I said it.
But you get it?
Wait, say it again because
I'll say it again.
Mm-hmm.
The scent is indicative of the essence of the scent occupying the same space at the same time, which is indicative of what? An existence or a presence on the higher realms where the physics are different. And that realm is the realm of probability, the realm of unrealized probability. In quantum physics, that's called wave function. And remember we said about, in quantum physics, they call it the quantum operator. It's the thing that allows probability to collapse into an actual event in 3D. So we're talking about the ability to manipulate things at the wave function level, at the probability level in your favor, so that they collapse into the event that you desire. Does that make sense?
Baby.
Yes. And so this is why, in ritual work, they light incense or particular types of incense.
Mm-hmm.
And then the intent, whether it be a chanting, whether it be a spell, whether just come to the thought, the intent programs the scent. And the essence of that scent is already existing in the higher realm. The evidence of that is that you have what? 2 scents commingling, meaning they occupy the same space at the same time. How about that?
You know what, Brother Reef? You just went deep on them, man. Like But you know, I could explain it, and I mean this in the most simple way, and most respectful way, in layman terms, as they put it. It's like going to a church.
Come on, bro.
They put you in that space. They put you in that mindset. You know, with the organist, the pastor, how he's hooting and shouting. Some churches use incense, the you know the tambourine and such.
All of that.
Yeah.
All of that. Yo, listen. Mikey, you already know this. You already know this. All of that is literally ancient technology.
Exactly.
It's tech to do what? To open spaces to the higher, to open access to the higher realms.
Your chakras, as they put it.
That's right.
Third eye.
All of it is. All of it is. The head of the order called the OTOA speaks of it like this. He literally said that that remnants of the Afro-Atlantean technology survived in the Holiness Church and in some of the churches of quote-unquote African Americans.
Stop.
Word is bond.
What he just said, though. Anyway, like, so let's go back, rewind. I don't want to see what Hassan Campbell always says. What, you know, rewind. We're gonna rewind. Now, that brings me to. I don't know if you're taking this from what you finished off on this same thought. Like, so when you were talking about space can be folded, right?
Yes.
So, what is beyond space?
Great question. Great question. Great question. So when we're talking about what we understand to be space, we're still talking about 3 dimensions: depth, width, and height. We're still talking about 3 dimensions. So it's still what? The language we would use in the Moorish science of America, the plane of things made manifest. So go ahead, Mikey.
No, I was gonna say Ain Sof.
Ain Sof R. You know about that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's still the plane of things made manifest. There's higher planes of experience. Notice I didn't use the word existence, because existence is experience. Let me say that again. Experienced is existence. So there's a realm of, follow me, physicality. Things may manifest, but your thoughts aren't physical. Thought is a realm of existence. It's a world unto itself. The fact that you're thinking is proof that there's a part of you on another dimension already existing. The fact, now watch this, the fact that you can observe your thoughts means that there's another realm higher than that. Now we're talking Ein Sof R. See? For the Kabbalists out there. And so experience is existence. Perception is existence. So the reason I'm even saying this is that if you can perceive the idea that thought is already on another plane of existence, that means you have consciously arrived there.
That's deep, brother. Beautiful.
Now, how do we get there? You just explained it.
It's not you go to that plane, it's that a portion of your consciousness arrives there because you already have a presence there.
Does it have anything to do with when you were talking about when I was in a sleep state and I was like,
yes. What we have is waking consciousness, subconscious. The subconscious speaks a different language. When we're awake, like we are now, our subconscious is asleep. When we're asleep, our subconscious is awake. When we're lucid, whether lucid dreaming or have a lucid state in the waking state, it's like this. When people who practice transcendental meditation, they train the skill of being able to maintain this state where the subconscious and the conscious are level and they can communicate.
Now, what do you call that? Transcendental?
Transcendental meditation.
So does that explain that phenomenon with sleep paralysis, Reef?
Yes.
Very
Sleep
cool.
paralysis, for the most part,
Mhm.
is a part of your waking consciousness arriving in the other body, the higher body, but you're not aware of the fact.
That happens a lot to me.
Yeah,
I
you're
be
not quite
going through
aware
it.
of the fact, and so you literally are like, I'm not breathing. Oh, and you panic, and all of a sudden you jump, you get popped back in the body.
Yeah.
So now, meditation, transcendental meditation.
What we're doing, brother, that's just one methodology, but the ideal, there's so many different ways to blur the lines between the dimensions. And this is relative to your question of what's outside of space. What you're really asking from, is what is beyond 3D? What is beyond the plane of things made manifest? And so you are familiar. We have chapter 11 in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Symbol of America, where it talks about 7 planes of existence.
Right.
In the Arabic Quran, where it says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. That means what? Lord of the worlds, plural. Lord of the 7 heavens.
All right. So now, let's say we're gonna play devil's advocate, maybe,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in no different dimensions.
I would ask this question because what we have to do is we have to establish, we say it in, our brothers and sisters, Fob Sin Nation, make understanding understood, right?
Mhm.
In the Moorish Science of America, we say, be not like the horse and the mule between whom there's no understanding. They just look alike. In other words, we might be saying the same words, but we don't have the same understanding of the same word.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, an atheist says, yeah, I don't believe in all that. No problem. Do you believe in science? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you believe in physics?
Oh yeah.
Do you believe in quantum physics?
Yeah.
I can speak that language too. So here we go. Right? You have what we call space, and then we have what we call exotic space. You have what we call the electromagnetic continuum and the magnetoelectric continuum. I could literally pull up graphic charts and displays from quantum physicists that talk about the properties of both. Like, here's one. A property of 3D space-time is resistance. Entropy is the term. Meaning something always degrades. We don't get younger, we get older. Something, you get it? Even electricity is subject to it in 3D. It runs through a wire, but what happens to the wire? It gets warm, and after a while, it starts to wear out. Why? Because there's resistance to the flow of electricity. And because of the resistance, you have friction, and now you have heat. Mm-hmm. It burns up the wire. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. But in higher space-time, there's what we call superconductivity. No resistance. Meaning that electricity goes forever. Meaning I roll a ball, there's nothing to resist it. It rolls forever.
Oh, wow.
That's indicative of higher plane existence. And that's quantum physics. Hey, it got nothing to do with religion. But it's saying the same thing.
Wow.
The biggest issue that lies at the root between real religion, I have to say it that way, and real science, I have to say it that way too, is that the Western world, the European Western world, eliminated human consciousness from the equation.
Right. Exactly.
See? It eliminated human consciousness from the equation. Honorable Elijah Muhammad called it, he put the original man to sleep. By removing, I say that's the means by which it was done, because we know that the foundation of Western psychology was based on Europeans trying to prove the existence of the soul.
Mm.
That's the root of Western psychology, trying to prove Descartes when he came up with the Latin phrase cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. He thought that was his proof. And technically it is the proof. But the Queen of England didn't buy it. She said, I can't see your thoughts. See? Now, our forefather in Spain, Averroes is the name given, the anglicized name, Averroes, Averroes. His real name was Ibn Rushda. Ibn Rushda, a Moor in Spain, when they were introducing what we call physics, they included the human psyche as part of the study of physics. See?
That makes sense.
Fast forward to today, we have, which ironically, but not unexpectedly, is illegal in the United States, consciousness-assisted technology, where human consciousness is the main instrument in the machinery. The short name for it is radionics. I did it on you, where I showed a radionics device that was made in the 13th century in Baghdad. See?
That's deep. That's deep.
Okay. Now to go back to bending space and
Yes, sir.
bending space and what's beyond that space. Now, I'm going to take you to the more elementary way of thinking, or baby way of thinking is,
Yes, sir.
I guess, what created that beyond space?
Oh, you mean the other dimensions?
Right.
All right, cool. So that's a good question. That's a really good question, right? The levels or the dimensions, this is deep, the dimensions or 7 planes of existence, of experience, the 7 worlds, the 7 universe, the 7 realities, whatever you want to call it, right? They're all subject to time. Ooh. They are subject to time.
Even the dimensions, you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They're subject to time. This is important. They're not eternal. They're subject to time. So let's go back to the original statement. Time never was when man was not. So man is above them too in his true nature. That is why man, in the religious sense, religious language, is above the, even though in the fallen state he was made physicality below the angels, he's actually above them.
Above the angels, yeah. But it makes perfect sense though, Reek, as you say it, because man is a reduction of the universe.
Correct.
You know, because everything in the universe is you.
He carries the universe inside him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're saying beyond space and time,
beyond 3D,
beyond 3D space and time,
there are higher dimensions.
Yeah, higher
4D,
dimensions.
5D. So, like for instance, let's take a piece of paper. Let's say that there was absolutely no width to this. We know at a very, very minute level there is, or else it wouldn't exist in 3 dimensions. But this visually we can perceive that this is only 2: length, height. but no depth. Get it?
Right.
Hello?
Yeah. We're
Oh, yeah. Length and height, but no depth.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. What would a three-dimensional object look like to somebody in a two-dimensional world? No, I'm going to tell you what it would look like. There'd be nothing, and then there'd be a dot.
Yeah.
And then there'd be a circle. And then there'd be a dot again, and then there'd be nothing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's try. So if we can, let's stretch our thinking. Let's stretch our thinking, right? What would 4D look like? A 4D event look like to somebody in 3 dimensions? Dematerialization and materialization.
That's deep right there.
Understand?
Oh man.
In other words, there are 3D indicators that we could see in 3 dimensions that would indicate something happening at higher dimensions. Here's a very simple one. I gave it earlier. I light a stick of incense. I light 2 sticks of incense, frankincense, myrrh. The 2 sticks can't come together, but the scent does.
How's it come together?
That's an indicator of higher dimensional existence.
That's deep reef right there.
See?
That's deep right there. And you know why people do that?
Yes,
as you said earlier, is to make your chance, your wishes, your manifestations ascend more quicker because
Yep. They go into the,
right there.
In other words, the higher dimensions, and I'm speaking quantum physics now.
Yeah.
The higher dimensions are dimensions. Let's take 4D and 5D. That's a dimension of, that's the realm of probability. You see what I'm saying? That's the realm of probability. In other words, where things are malleable, where things can be molded by my intent. But I have to have the right quality and quantity of intent to do it.
That's that chi.
And then it's got to reach there. And so then it downloads to the rate of atmosphere. In other words, it goes from probability to solid event. But we can manipulate things at that level. And the mere fact that we can do that, Brother Ron, is demonstrating that there is a part of us that's outside of time and space. In other words, we can fold space-time. We can manipulate space. Okay. Human consciousness can do
That's why you look like you're in your 40s. If he cut the beard, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know he's 58 years old.
That's a blessing,
57.
man.
I'll be 58 at the end of the year.
Yeah, 57, 58. You wouldn't know.
So I'm Sagittarius, baby.
Is that was that you folding the time? How meditating?
Human consciousness has the power to manipulate space-time.
Yep.
Human consciousness has that power. Which, and if it has that power, brother, that literally means one thing and one thing only. It's beyond space.
Yep.
It can handle space. See that?
Okay. We have a question from Awareness Daily. We got to make sure he gets his questions in every now and again.
Awareness Daily be asking some dope questions. He said, "Are principal spirits?" You want the short answer? Absolutely.
Yes, they are.
Well, you know why, Brother Awareness Daily? Because thoughts are living things.
Exactly.
We are creators.
Exactly.
Thoughts are living things. So principles are living things, believe it or not. Brother Mikey, you know from your tradition, you know, from your heritage, the old timers would tell you to even be careful about having certain books in your house.
It's a fact. Yeah, the power of words, what you're reading, it will vibrate. Because they even say in the Christian tradition, life and death is at the tip of the tongue, right?
Word is bond.
People don't understand your thoughts, your words, what you say. Your name has a meaning to it. It
Yes.
resonates a certain frequency.
Yes.
Certain chants will say resonate a certain frequency.
Why
Movements.
when we were, in the 5% nation, we take on an attribute. You know that, Mikey.
Yeah, you live by it.
You just change your frequency.
That's it.
You became an initiate, because that's what initiates do.
Yeah, you change
Guess
your
what
name.
that's called in the Christian church? Being born again.
Again, yep.
Right. Now I want to go into chapter 1, the creation and fall of man.
Yes.
Hark now, let every creature hear. The plane of soul is but the ether of the spirit plane vibrating
Not so fast.
And
in the slower rhythm.
The
essences,
rhythm.
The perfumes, the odors, and the true sensations, and the all of love are manifest.
Can you explain that?
That's incense. Exercising your incense before you burn it.
Boom. But guess what else it means?
Yeah.
You got something vibrating at a high level. Here it is. I'm gonna give a hood analogy. We all remember back in the day in the summer when you ain't have no air conditioner and you put the fan in the window.
Right.
When that fan is going at a high rate of speed, you can't see the blade. But when you put it in medium,
you see the blade.
You can see the shadow of the blade.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that means, brother. The slower the rhythm, the more tangible it becomes.
Exactly.
That's what it means.
Okay. So what are you saying to that, right?
In other words, this answers your earlier question. I'm glad you asked. What is the difference between the 7 planes? Vibratory rates. That's the difference. Vibratory rate.
Okay.
See?
So that's the difference in the 7 planes.
Yes.
Now, can you explain the 7 planes?
Sure. Right? What we're talking about, if we're to use scientific terminology, we're talking about what they would call the luminiferous ether. We say ether. Now, you have some people that will say, that's outmoded, Brother Sharif. There's no such thing as ether. Einstein debunked it. Wrong. In Einstein's earlier career, he said, yeah, ether doesn't exist. At the end of his career, he went back to it and said, yes, it does. And what do we mean by ether? We mean a higher vibratory material. It's still matter, but vibrating at such a higher level that it becomes the framework for things that we can see and touch. Understand? It becomes the framework for that. As a matter of fact, Mikey said it earlier, and Brother Ron, you're familiar with this. We could actually call ether.
Yeah. It is.
Yes.
Now the 7 created the 7 creative spirits.
Yes.
Does that have any?
They are the architects of the ether at each 7 levels. So here we go, back to what you had said, back to Awareness Daily's question. Are principles living things? Here is, Mikey's gonna smack my hand when I say this. This is a very secret formula. The presence of energy indicates the presence of information. That's how you can walk into a room and read the room. That's how when you see your spouse and she's in a bad mood, you can tell why.
Mm-hmm.
There's information with the energy.
Exactly.
Now here's the other part of the triangle. The presence of information indicates the presence of intelligence, a living thing.
Exactly.
That's why I don't beef with God nation, my brothers in the God nation. When I say spirit and they say essence, I'm like, we're talking about the same thing.
Exactly. Or another one,
The word spirit is spooky. We're talking about the same thing.
What you just said, Reef?
The presence of energy is the presence of information. And the presence of information indicates the presence of an intelligence.
Right. Now,
you said it. Mind and tech mind. Don't they say that?
Right.
Now, I wanted to go into the 7 created spirits from what I know are the planets.
I like that. I like that. I'm not going to disagree 100% because when we say from our perspective the 7 planets, like for it, when I say we in this case, I'm talking about a particular Sufi order. That order is the order of Al-Hashashim, or the order of the assassins, the Ismaili Sufi order, right? When we say the 7 planets, we're talking planetary spheres. Mikey knows what I'm talking about. We're not talking about the physical planets. The physical planets are 3D shadows of the 7 planetary spheres. And the 7 planetary spheres are indicative of what the Hebrews call the 7 Elohim.
Archangels.
Yes.
Now, the 7 Elohims are the 7 planets.
In this respect, in the sense that I said, yes. Physical planets, no. The physical planets, like I said, are 3D shadows of the 7 planetary spheres. Remember, anything physical is a result of a higher function, a higher dimensional function.
Okay, right. So just like we are made in the likeness of, right. So the planets are the planets, the 7 days of the week.
Yes, that's why, brother, what you're touching on right now is why there's 7 days of the week. Get it? Because the number 7 controls manifest creation.
Ron not playing out here.
Tell him, Ron ain't playing.
Tell him, Ron. And there's certain things
right now.
You got your Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Mikael, Zachiel,
and Anael.
and Anael. Yeah, that's a fact. All
Right.
of them, and you could, and they all in you.
So let's talk about it. Monday, Moon. Tuesday, Mars. Wednesday, Mercury. Thursday, Jupiter. Friday, Venus. Saturday, Saturn, and Sunday, Sun.
Now let's show you how a lot of it, technology is technology. I don't care if your car is made by Mitsubishi or by Ford. Essentially, all has the same thing, right? What day, Brother Ron? What day is associated with the planet Venus?
Friday.
Right. Okay. Brother Mike. That's the 6th day, right? Technically. Yep. Brother Mikey, what's the 6th Sephiroth on the Tree of Life?
After you go, Maku, I think is it a Yesod part of me?
No, that's 9.
That's 9. Tiferet, yeah. No, in the heart area.
Where?
In the heart.
Where?
Right. In the heart, yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on.
Do y'all know what's going on right now?
Hold on.
Whoever's watching, are you catching what's happening? Hey.
I'm taking it because
hold on, Mikey. What is the alchemical color associated with Tiferet? Green. What is the planet? Venus. What is the symbol for Tiferet? The 5-pointed star.
Oh my God! You know what? Reef is taking us straight to Kabbalistic school. I like that. Now we're gonna start doing banishment rituals. Don't get us started.
Hey, you know what? I like this one right here.
We're gonna start.
We need to start. Mike, you gotta see Mike, you're good. You're good, man. You work this is going great. Okay, now. So since we're on the Kabbalah, the tree of life, we went to Venus. So let's go to Saturn.
Okay.
So in the Kabbalah, Saturn is what?
Depending on the system. Like, for instance, well, Saturn, like in the system that I'm a part of.
Yeah, of course it is. It is. Cause you're
So
down.
like, so follow, right? Matter of fact.
I see what you said.
Reef, hold on. Yeah, I might hold on. Give me a second.
Ground shock.
Same thing. Give me a second.
That yes.
Yeah, leaving the screen, and I'm like, yo,
Pull out the books on you.
Oh, I thought that was your mic messing up again, Mike.
Oh,
no. Mike. Okay. All right. I see that.
That's the order. Saturn,
the 4 elements.
Jupiter, Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, the Moon. Those are the 7.
Reef is taking out of school, man. He is showing y'all some stuff, man. Go pick up that book, man. No, and shout out to the chat too. Hold that on that, Reef. Somebody said it. Somebody said Israel Regardi. That is a good book to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people, when it comes to this stuff, they're familiar with the Hebrew tradition. This is the old Arabic tradition. See that? Brother Ron, if you look close, you see Saturn at the top? You see 4 Arabic letters.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
You see the colors?
Yeah.
The spirits of fire, air, water, and earth. You see it?
Right.
Each one of those letters represents one of the elements that makes up Saturn, the Saturn sphere.
It's very deep, man.
You see?
And your zodiacs and the zodiac people are in there too. The zodiac.
Pardon me, Mike. You had something to say?
And I say the zodiacs are in there. People
Yes,
that follow the zodiacs.
That's a fact.
All part of that chart as well.
They're all part of it. That's a fact.
Yeah. Now, these 7 creative spirits, right? So basically, the 7th. Okay, this goes into why do we celebrate? I don't know if it's celebrate. Why do we recognize Friday? Why do we recognize? Why do we recognize Friday as a holy day? Because Can you quote that?
Yeah. All meetings are to be open and closed, right? All meetings are open and closed by the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh.
Right.
And on Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended to his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Now, hold on. Does that conflict with our Hebrew brothers who say the Sabbath is the day? Watch. I already knows where I'm going with this. What do we say in the Holy Quran of the Moorish? The Moorish American prayer. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By what?
By night.
So we say night first, right? In the Bible, in the book of Genesis, it says, and the evening and the morning was the first day. In most Asiatic calendars, the day starts at 12 noon.
That's a fact. I was going to take it there.
It's not in conflict with the Sabbath because the Sabbath begins 12 noon Friday.
And to add on to what Reef was saying about the 7 planets, the 7 spheres, the 7 archangels that correlate with the 4 elements.
Yes.
Around the hours from noon, every hour resonates with a certain particular energy.
Cycles within cycles.
Exactly. So if you decide to, deal with a particular angel to invoke an angel energy, say like 3 p.m., I'm saying I better take notes. But issue you having, you face a particular direction, you invoke something, it'll manifest for you.
Think about it like this. Think about it like this, Brother Ron. We've got a day, right? That corresponds to the moon, Monday, right? Well, there's a smaller cycle. There's a moon hour. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
it's just like having a countdown on a stopwatch.
Yeah.
Where you could dial it in and be that exact.
I'm gonna just let y'all know, if y'all put this video with the video we're gonna drop with Shari Wilson, y'all gonna learn a lot, because we spoke about acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine last night.
And you have the time flow of chi in the body, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
If you watch this video and watch the video, I'm gonna post that video Saturday.
Yep.
Watch this one and the other one back to back. Things are gonna start coming together for you. But anyway, the 7 creative spirits. Now, the creation of man.
Yes.
Friday.
Yes.
So can you take us through how the creation of man is created from Sunday to Friday?
All right, here we go. Here we go.
I'm getting good at this.
Yeah, I see. First and foremost, what are we talking about now? We're talking about the mechanics of creation itself. Well, how in the world are 3 lowly human beings on this ball of mud called Earth talking about the mechanics of creation? Because man is destined to be the Lord of the plane of things made, of plane of soul and the plane of things made manifest. That's why. Mm-hmm. And we got to know, if we're the landlords, we got to know what we're Lord over, don't we?
Yes, sir.
That's why Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave actual facts and solar facts.
That's a wow.
Yes, sir.
He did.
Right?
Hey, shout out to the gods too, man.
Yeah, shout out to the gods.
Y'all got this already, man. Y'all have it.
Don't forget it. Peace to the nation, the 5% nation of gods and earths, and the nation of Islam.
Nation of Islam. Absolutely.
And Moorish science. You guys have this.
Yes, sir. You see? But you know what it is, Brother Mikey? A lot of times we're jaded. All 3 schools are jaded, and we take for granted what we have.
Yeah.
And we sit on it and we don't dig into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's
take us from Sunday to Friday.
All right, let's talk about it. Right? What we're talking, okay, matter of fact, I'm gonna make it real simple. Who can tell me what the endocrine system does in the human body?
Regulates hormones.
What do the hormones do?
The hormones help create. Oh my God!
They maintain, right? They maintain every aspect.
They maintain homeostasis.
Maintain homeostasis, but that, you know how homeostasis is? It's not just physical and physiological; it's also psychological and emotional. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
In other words, it solidifies the non-physical part of man in the physicality. How many glands are in the endocrine system?
7, yeah.
Ooh, that's deep.
Now people have some functional knowledge about the chakras.
Okay.
Deep, my brother, deep.
Okay. So now the chakras. Now, how is that?
Each one of the 7 chakras are connected, and I'm using that word on purpose, are connected to one of the 7 planets. And when I say planets, I mean the planetary sphere. Mikey, in your language or in the Creole, it's called poncho.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm getting at,
points.
what I'm getting at is, how do you go from not of course you're like just etheric in a sense, right? For lack of a
Yes.
better term, right? So how do we go from etheric beings, so to speak, into made manifest on a Friday from Sunday to Friday? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So
From
is it
Saturday to Friday.
Saturday to Friday? Okay. So from Saturday to Friday, how does that happen? How does that take place? How does the planets correlate with the creation of man from Saturday to Friday?
It's the progression. Okay. It's a progression, just like how I showed in here, right? This. Okay. You got Saturn, then Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, the moon. So So we're talking about if we're to use the word descent, the descent of the soul into manifestation at those 7 levels. Okay. The first level, Saturn. Okay. The last level, the moon. The moon governs gross physicality. Understand? The moon is energetically, it's the closest planetary sphere to physicality. Okay? What is the moon cycle? 28 days. What is the gestation cycle in human pregnancy?
9 months.
9 months, but what kind of months?
Trimesters. Yeah. Those are trimesters.
Which is a 28-day month and 13 months.
Now, how does Mars play a role? Because that's Tuesday.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Oh man, yo,
let's talk about it. I know,
yo,
Mike,
Ron.
I know.
No, this guy's playing too much,
man.
man.
Ron's hand for asking the right question. So
No. Ron, no, I'm not saying. I'm just like Ron. I'm looking at Ron knows this and you know this. I'm like, these guys are y'all hitting people over the head too hard, man. Y'all gotta pause. Y'all gotta.
It's the truth. So here we go. Let's take the story of Adam and Eve. The serpent did not lie to Eve. The serpent said, when you already know where I'm going, Mike. When you eat that fruit, you're going to become self-aware. In other words, the ego will be fully built into the body. And you become self-aware. Animals are not 100% self-aware. That's why they rely on instinct, a group spirit. Man has the ego fully indwelled in him 100%. Well, where is this ego? What angelic entities are responsible for building the ego into man? The Martian spirits. The serpent is Samael.
Reef, I see where you went with that. That was deep. But I have another one with that, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. I just want to bring it back to Mars.
No, it's gonna come back.
That's the Martian energy. Samael is a regent from the Martian sphere of influence. The Tetragrammaton, Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, which is Yahweh, Jehovah, is a regent from the lunar sphere, which is why when Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh was looking for Adam and Eve and they were hiding, and then they came out and he says, "Why are you hiding?" They said, "Because we're naked." He said, "How you know that?" In other words, the only way you could know that is if you had self-awareness.
And that's what I was gonna say. That's cut you.
Go ahead, bro.
But first, you see how they say that whole story with the serpent in the garden, right?
Yes.
And this may be controversial. Who's
Yes.
the first one to have knowledge of self after they went through that fruit?
Ooh.
Who's the keeper of all secrets?
Ooh,
Till this
Eve.
day. All right
Ooh.
then.
See that?
Who's doing most of the studies?
All right.
Ooh. Now hold on. Now I want to wrap it up. Brother
No. Hold on, more. Don't do that. We gotta do this one again because this right here, we gotta unpack this. This is we can't just.
I just want to say this pretty quick.
Okay.
What we're talking about in shorthand is we're talking literally millions and billions of years of universal man's descent into matter.
Yes.
This happened gradually over. Okay.
No, was not.
And this is why they say no nation will rise higher than its woman. Okay. And it's not, if sisters understand this.
This is why the Taoists say it this way. Man is God's secret. Power is man's secret. Sex is woman's secret.
That's it.
On that note, thank you guys for the chat.
I appreciate that.
Super chat. I really appreciate the super chat. So how are we? We know how old the flag is, but how old are we? We have no beginning or no ending. We are over the sun, moon, and stars, brother.
Actual fact, bro. That's why in the Moorish science of America we say it like this: the thoughts of Allah are from the never-ending days, the everlasting days of the past, to the never-ending days to come, and so is man.
Right. Listen, I gotta cut this one short because we could go. This one is crazy. We're gonna start where we ended on the next one.
Absolutely.
I'm a baby in this. Sharif is.
Nah, you ain't no baby.
Nah. I'm just learning. I'm telling you, I don't know. Honest to God, man. Like I said, I love the 5%ers teachings, Nation of Islam and the Moors. But when I go back and study, I'm like, yo, this is all the same story. There's no difference between us, man. Different language.
Difference. It really isn't any difference. We're just speaking slightly different language. That's all.
That's it.
That's it. But anyway, yo, we're out of here. Thank y'all for coming out this week. We really appreciate y'all. Definitely appreciate Brother Sharif again coming with the heat. And yo, man, we'll catch y'all on the next show tomorrow. We build on me. Who's Ron Brown LMT? Who is this?
Go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guys and tell you who I am so you get it, and then we don't have to have that conversation ever again. All you gotta do is going back to the video and just rewind that. All right. See y'all tomorrow, 7 p.m. and we out of here. Peace.